practitioners, Christine Stewart and Judy Carmi. And so that'll be a lot of fun. So you'll see how that unfolds. But before we get started, I again like to let you know that if you need a prayer or support afterwards, Dr. Mary and I are available. And if you want to have one of the new practitioners with us, we'll sit with you as well. But there is going to be an essence class after the service, so then everyone's going to be joining that as well. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But I'm available. So before we get started, if you want to silence your devices that may go off during the service, we'd like to keep a sacred quiet, in the sanctuary here. But also, again, welcome to our center here, our community, where we inspire and empower people to live spiritually fulfilling lives. That's our motto, that's what we live by, that's what the center is all about. And so we want to encourage you to participate in classes, events, Sunday service, anything that goes on around here which helps support that growth within yourself. So we're going to turn to the camera now. We normally do that when the children are being sung out, and wave to the people who are watching on YouTube and also Facebook Live, and also during the week. Hello. So we know there's a number of people who watch, and they help support the center through their pledge and donations as well. So to all those out there, thank you. We really appreciate it. So now I'm going to invite Judy up to do the announcements. And then after that, she'll invite Lori up to do the reading. I will invite the bell 3 times. And then after that, Christine will come up and do the prayer. So Judy's on her way up. Welcome, Judy.
Whoops, sorry. Good morning, everyone. So I will take you through the announcements. And the first announcement for this week and for today, actually, is the Essence of Science of Mind class with Reverend Dr. Mary Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell will share the history of the Center for Spiritual Living and this center in particular during this class, and she will share information about science of mind and answer any questions. Now, when I first heard about this class, when I had the intention to become a member, I was so excited, I just couldn't wait. And this class sure cemented my intention to becoming a member. So I encourage anyone here who's wanting to become a member or has been thinking about it, please join us. It's today at 11:15 in the conference room. And so I hope to see you there. Next is Roots of Science of Mind class with Rob Ward. This class will be on Zoom, and it begins on Thursday, July 18th. This is a transformational course and a fascinating journey through the minds of New Thought luminaries who have greatly influenced our founder, Earnest Holmes. So students in this class will focus on how these powerful teachings can be applied today. So since we've made so much progress since the founding of our centers and New Thought, we do want to find out and discover, how can I apply this to my life today? And this is a perfect class to be taking. Crystal Bowles Sound Healing Bath with Irene Bulmer will be on Friday, July 19th, here in the sanctuary from 6:30 to 8. And this class invites you to immerse yourself in a journey of sound and vibration created by Crystal Singing Bowles. And our SOAR, Spirit of Adventure Renewed, has a real adventure in store for anyone wanting to participate on Saturday, July 20th, for a day in Dunsmuir with Hedge Creek Falls, Botanical Gardens, Siskiyou Art Museum, Suspension Bridge, River Trail, and more. This sounds like a real adventure. So please join us if you're interested. Right Path Health Screenings has had a change of date on the calendar here, and it will now be on Friday, July 26th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it says, please note that due to circumstances beyond our control, this has been rescheduled to Friday, July 26, 2024. Please note that walk-ins are not possible. You can pre-register online, even the day of the event. But you cannot walk in, unfortunately. Okay, so these are the announcements for this coming week. And let's see, I will invite Lori now to do the reading. Thank you.
This morning's reading, chosen by Reverend Sue, starts out, a story of our shared journey. Time before time, when the world was young, two brothers shared a field and a mill. Each night, they evenly divided the grain they had ground together during the day. Now, as it happened, one of the brothers lived alone. The other had a wife and a large family. One day, the single brother thought to himself, "It really isn't fair that we divide the grain evenly. I have only myself to care for, but my brother has children to feed." So, each night, he secretly took some of his grain to his brother's granary to see that he never went without. But the married brother said to himself one day, "It really isn't fair that we divide the grain evenly, because I have children to provide for me in my old age, but my brother has no one. What will he do when he is old?" So every night he secretly took some of his grain to his brother's granary. As a result, both of them always found their supply of grain mysteriously replenished each morning. Then, one night, the brothers met each other halfway between their houses, suddenly realized what had been happening, and embraced each other in love. The story is that God witnessed their meeting and proclaimed, "This is a holy place, a place of love. And here it is that my temple shall be built." And so it was. The holy place, where God is made known, is the place where human beings discover each other in love. The spirituality of imperfection is such a place.
Please join me in knowing there is only one God, one love, one life, one universal source energy that is always expressing through me, within me, as me. Time times when I feel less than perfect, I remember that I'm having a human experience. And what I might feel or see as imperfection is still God expressing as me. And so I take a deep breath and I smile at myself for trying to control the outcome. And I'm grateful that Spirit is in control and is always only seeking my highest good. And so I give great thanks for this and for all that I have and all that I'm becoming. And I release these words into the law of mind, knowing it is already so. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Judy. I'm like a little proud mama with these new practitioners. Oh my God. It's like the mother that's on the stage going, you can do this, you can do this. And they've already got it. I don't know why I get that way. I'm just so excited for them. I love them so much, all of them. And Rob's watching probably, and we love you, Rob, and he's the one, another practitioner that will be starting that Roots class this week online because he can't move here just yet. And Christine's going to join him as co-teaching that. So it's just a win-win situation. And you both just did thumbs up. You got an A on your report card. It was perfect on an imperfect day. That's what we're talking about. The gifts of imperfection, looking at Brené Brown's small little book on this, if you want to know more in depth on this topic. It's very helpful, her wisdom. And today we're going to really focus in on being imperfect. And even when I say that, I watch some shoulders go, oh, good. Oh, good, I can let my stomach out. I can drop my shoulders. I can just relax and be here. So that's what it is. It's inviting us to really begin being ourselves as we are. And imperfect on the level, this is what's important here to catch this, because we strive to be perfect, because there's a perfection in the nature of the divine. But we're talking about the human level, about being human, and knowing that deep within, at our core, there is always, we can trust this seed of perfection of the divine way, and we can rely on that, and that's what spirituality is. So the path to understand that this is not a whole series of lectures about trying to be perfect, but trying to live wholeheartedly. It takes it in another whole direction that pays tribute to the divine perfection within each one of us. So we're going to lean into our nature just as it is and never stop trying to improve, but accept each moment as it reveals itself. And then from there, continue to practice doing the best we can. But I invite you to ask yourself if you are doing the best that you can. What is yours to learn when you meet a struggle? So we can't use this message of imperfection as a scapegoat. We can't use it to stop thinking that we can stop trying to improve our unskillful ways and get away with being a butthead, being unskilled. We are tapping into our spiritual roots here, deep into our roots, and we are acutely aware that through our nature and through that intuitive knowing, calling us home to our true self, we're shifting our perceptions then, perceptions of ourself and perception of the world all along our way. By accepting what is, just those two little words, we can discover a deep level of acceptance and appreciation for ourselves and for others along the way. Spiritual life is ultimately only about cultivating that beautiful connection of the divine presence within us and all around us. But to know this authentic place, to know it, Brené Brown reminds us we must be willing to have the courage to speak honestly and openly about who we are, about what we're feeling, and about our experiences, both the good and the bad. And that requires courage at a soul level. And it's about putting our vulnerability on the line, isn't it, when you go there? When we're able to walk through our many life lessons and learn what that shame feeling is. I don't know about you, but the word even shame makes me blanch a little bit inside my heart. And I remember being with Dr. James in a creative living where 6 people sat in a circle and they had some intense therapy, really, with Dr. James. And I remember one of the people came in that day and said, I'm working on shame. And I thought, oh, glad I don't have that. When she was done talking, I was filled with shame because it wasn't shame on me. She wasn't pointing it at me, but I realized how I had compartmentalized some of those feelings and I wasn't facing them. So it was a very healthy process to go through because these feelings allow the imperfections to teach us and form us. And yes, like I said, it takes the courage when we're willing to allow others and ourselves to share in an open way a similar struggle. So when we allow that, when we allow enough grace for that to happen, we're both in a partnership of becoming better human beings. And this is what Pema Chodron reminds us of. When we practice generating this form of compassion, we can expect to experience the fear of our pain. We can expect to experience the fear of our pain. And compassionate practice is daring you. It involves learning to relax and allow yourself to move gently towards what is scaring you. So you can see, maybe as I speak, some of the flashing through you, some of the visions of your own life experience where you felt stopped along the journey. And here is to explain that we're all feeling those moments of not being as skillful. If we spend our mind belittling who we are and what we did, or we're laying it all on the other, out there we end up stalling this beautiful life force energy that is always ever flowing through each one of us. And at a certain crossroad, we're refusing to shift our approach. That's when we suffer. That's when we close down even more. We're encouraged to cultivate self-awareness, self-acceptance, to find a way that serves others, that serves your own self in a wholehearted, there's that word again, wholehearted embrace of a deeper, I love this idea, of a deeper unconditional love, of a deeper unconditional love. Sometimes we hear words like that, unconditional love, and we can skip past it. But ultimately, this is what we're aiming for, an unconditional love of the self with all the imperfections, and to go to the glory of that knowing that we're all enough and that we're all okay in what we're doing. Now here's where Earnest Holmes comes in, and he says, we resist being what we really are. We need to accept the fuller expression of the mind that is within us. For in a creative flow through us rests our entire future. The greater person that we are and the richer life we desire to enjoy. It's right there. It's right there, as he's reminding us. And he goes on to say, you don't have to despise your personality or say, I hate this body. I'm a worm of the dust. He's really getting down and dirty here. And think that you are surrendering to God by doing so. No, that's not what's required here. When you deny yourself, you're denying the divine. You're denying God. Tongue-tied. All we have to say is, there is nothing in me but God. There is nothing in me but good, but love. Translate that word God into whatever word seems to resonate with you on your spiritual journey. Because for some, the word God doesn't fit for them, for you. So we find the word of love that allows us to keep our heart and our eyes and our mind and our heart wide open to a greater truth. Because what we're striving for is a oneness of being, which leads us to understand that everything is divine by its own nature, but never the same and always diverse, nor is oneness a cookie-cutter impression that we all need to be alike, and it's all not asking us to live up to a certain ideal in order to be accepted in society. It's just a goalpost. Divine love, that unconditional love, doesn't move through life this way. You see, it's continually blessing you, accepting you, honoring you. That's unconditional love. So another point of this from Earnest Holmes is unity and uniformity are not the same. No two blades of grass are alike. What does it mean spiritually? It means that incarnated within each of us is not only that beautiful divine spark I'm pointing to, but also not only an incarnation of the living spirit of the cosmos, but also a unique presentation of the cosmic whole. If we can judge the unknown by the known, so this beautiful experience as you try to drink in those words, to taste them at a heart level, when we can bear witness to our common humanity, we call forth, we are always calling forth a compassion to heal any division, however it's showing up. Now, something big here is to be aware of being compassionate is also being willing to not be afraid to set some boundaries for yourself and hold others accountable and yourself accountable. It's an equation. Brene Brown says she learned for us through her life stories, through her years of research. And her book is filled with these testimonies. They're rich in helping you understand this. It helps you continue to pivot into a new understanding because she shares her vulnerable stories of trying to fit in to what she thinks the lecture hall is wanting to hear. And all she looks out on is a sea of faces that are squirming in their seats and scowling at her because she's trying to please them. And then she realizes, I can't go there. I can't do that. That's not my truth. You see? You let that go. And you start to say, here's my heart. Here's my heart, and may I share it with your heart. And as my heart opens, your heart opens. And we're in that same place of divinity and unconditional love. So our connection to each other is really beyond the boundaries, but it's also between the boundaries. It's one of those paradoxes. There's boundaries, there's accountability, there's acceptance that we share with one another. And all of this compassion is leaning in to make us kinder people. Remember the Dalai Lama, kindness is his religion. Because we can't afford to sacrifice this connection to others and still feel on the inside a level of resentment, maybe angry, maybe still judging, and then acting sweet on the outside. You see, that doesn't jive. It's a setup for betraying yourself and betraying another. But it is empowering when we can begin to set the compassionate boundaries that serve us at a soul level. This is at the heart of compassion. And it leads us to really being in acceptance Because think about how exhausting it is to hold up that armor of self-righteousness as it shaped itself around you. And it continued to freeze your hand in a pointing, blaming position in life. We can let that all go. The principle of this wholeheartedness that I speak of is so much more about giving and forgiving. Giving and forgiving. It's a noble path. And another fun fact from Brené Brown is, until we can receive with an open heart, we never really are giving from an open heart. When we attach any judgment to receiving help from another, this is unknowingly being attached to a judgment of giving help. And so it's a conflicted circle that you get bound up in. And we're asking for the path of least resistance to carry us forth, to choose our way, to be practicing courage of compassion and willing to make connections. This is authenticity. This is the daily practice of letting go from Brené Brown. Letting go of who we think we are supposed to be and embrace who we are. Can we do that? Just think about it this week. Just watch yourself. Watch yourself maybe habitually try to be a people pleaser when you're not feeling it. And just step back and take a breath. Don't have to say anything. But as long as we continue to polish that inward journey, it will express itself outwardly. But another angle to look at this is as we look into nature. The SOAR event is so beautiful for that. Because one of the principles I'm going to share with you, one of the healing modalities to help you bridge your way into this, if it seems like a difficult message to really take in on a heart level, is forest bathing. And so these opportunities of Dunsmuir, and especially at this time of year when our branches are looking so brittle, may we walk within them and bless them and feel the moisture reviving them. There's so many things that we can do with nature to help heal. So looking at nature as your teacher, accepting what is especially noted in the natural world, it's always demonstrating itself to you. So this Japanese wisdom of perfect imperfection, you can look it up on, there's a lot on it in the YouTube world. Brilliant messages, but delivered in such a calm, sincere way that you just melt into yourself. But we're reminded how we shape these impressions. What's healthy? What is beauty? What is the perfect body? Think about it. What is the best diet? And on through the media, through every magazine, everything is subliminally informing us that we are not enough. As we inevitably, one of those journeys along the way of just glancing at the newsstand, we might be looking at our own self-image and thinking that we need to correct it. So think about the selfies that are being taken all the time. They take the selfie and then they go to the filter. How's this going to look? How am I going to look? I watched a friend of mine doing a series of a lecture. She was on Zoom, and darn if she didn't put those eyelashes on herself. And she was blinking, and I'm thinking, she's already incredibly beautiful. But every time she talked, I was like, wait, okay, focus on what she's saying, because it's really important here. But I almost felt like one of those eyelashes was going to fall off, because it was not herself to me. I know her different beauty. I know her natural beauty. It's just interesting how we can try to paint our way into feeling better about ourselves, mostly we women. We aren't really happy because we think about all the commercials where they're dancing, where they're having a cocktail and they're all dancing and their bodies are all beautiful, and you're going, no way could I just imagine myself as the glass of wine was brought to my table and I'd get up and just start, everybody, let's just dance in this restaurant, right? But we think, oh, that their life is so happy. Look how happy all those people are. Look how perfect They all are. And I am so much less than. All those people have perfect hands, perfect shapes, perfect clothes. And then we look just, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but we get a sense of a fractured part of ourselves that isn't being loved. And something stung our heart, leaving us feeling, I'm not enough, I must do more. Tomorrow morning I'll start again. Something to that effect. It enters yourself without even you knowing it. It's like one of those worms that gnaws away at our self-esteem when we see someone our own age. And they have defined muscles, thicker hair. I'm talking about my age. And they have no wrinkles. And you compare yourself, and then it blows our own image. And then we're a little more unsettled when we go out in public. How do I look? Look okay? Can you dim the lights just a little? Because if I have to look down, it shows my double chin. All these things going through my head as I'm talking to you. Silly. Silly. It's just accept myself as I am. Now, even as I mention it, I'm thinking, that's how the mind goes. Now they're looking at your double chin. If you hadn't mentioned it, okay, I love myself as I am. I love myself as I am. So the message last week was a lot to do with this, but it's about the measuring stick. Don't ever forget that message. Throw the measuring sticks away because they're not helpful. And so this is where I want to bring in from the Japanese culture the term known as wabi-sabi. Can you say that with me? No, wabi-sabi. Say it again with confidence. And again. These are great words. Wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi. That's my new mantra. Wabi-sabi, and let me tell you why. Because it's going to clear your mind, it's going to clear your heart. This is from the Japanese culture. It feels magical to me, and it feels very potent. It's an expression that can wipe out that discontent. And as soon as you hear that head voice inside of you, that'll come out of nowhere and start talking about your double chin, wabi-sabi. Paint it with wabi-sabi. You don't want that, wabi-sabi. We can simply breathe and chant those words and remember who we are at the core of our being, wabi-sabi. Otherwise, we're always chasing. If we don't catch it, we're chasing that perfect ideal and making ourselves miserable. Now, here's something very important in Brene Brown's book that she talks about. Perfectionism is not the same thing as striving to be your best. Perfection is not about healthy achievement and growth. Perfectionism is the belief that if we live perfect, look perfect, act perfect, we can minimize and avoid pain of blame, judgment, and shame. You see, it's a shield. Perfectionism is a 20-ton shield that we lug around thinking it will protect us when, in fact, it's the very thing preventing us from taking flight. Perfectionism is not self-improvement. It is, at its core, about trying to earn approval and acceptance. Most perfectionists were raised being praised for achievement and performance. Your grades, your manners, rule following, people pleasing, your appearance, sports for a lot of us. Somewhere, well, I act like I did sports for a lot of you. Somewhere along the way, we adopt this dangerous and debilitating belief system. I am what I accomplish and how well I accomplish it. Please perform perfect. Healthy striving is self-focused. How can I improve? That's all. That's healthy. How can I improve? Perfectionism is other-focused. What will they think? Whew. So much to take in here to help us shift out of this pattern of our experience, wabi-sabi. So I'm wondering where I am. The philosophy behind the words of wabi-sabi. So wabi means simple things, basic, as is the rough, imperfect, asymmetrical manner that we find in nature. And sabi refers to the things touched by time, showing decay and damage. It is an experience of seeing a transient nature of all things. The more we try to perfect anything, the more it will inevitably begin to change. It's like trying to keep a pond of water still, like you finally found that still, clear body of water. And you want it to remain unmoving so that you can get your mind to relate and associate with that clarity and that pristine idea of perfection. And then the wind blows, or somebody across the pond throws a stone and messes it all up for you. But what's really going on there? It's still beautiful, isn't it? Doesn't matter. So is the mind, still beautiful. Things will ruffle it. Things will move through you. Wabi-sabi. We allow this imperfection now to be a natural state of being. In a matter of speaking, we want to allow ourselves to just simply expect it. Spending hours observing the monks. Think about that. Have you ever done that when you've watched them create those beautiful mandalas? There's, 20 or 30 monks kneeling on the ground, carefully taking the chalk, and they make this beautiful display. And it takes a whole week of a conference. And at the last day, impermanence. They sweep it. And your heart kind of goes, oh, that was my favorite corner. But they do this and they walk away, back to dust. Back to being unorganized beauty. So much that we can learn from nature and from these master teachers in our experience. So self-improvement is still going to be our choice to improve the quality, though, of our inner life. We're going to accept, if we can, the intrinsic nature of imperfection to evolve us in the natural world so we can enjoy all that there is, enjoy who we are and doing our best. And I quote again from this idea of wabi-sabi. It gives us permission to be yourself. It encourages you to do your best, but not make yourself ill in pursuit of an unattainable goal of perfection. It gently motions you to relax and slow down and enjoy your life. How are you feeling about wabi-sabi? Can I hear it? Wabi-sabi. Yeah, kind of has a nice vibration in the heart. But there was another perfection. Lindy, how much time do I have? Go ahead. I should ask you guys. The spirituality of imperfection, and these are all stories from a fascinating book, Ernest Kurtz and Catherine Ketchum. And this book is actually stories about how the Alcoholics Anonymous started. And so it's filled with those stories of imperfection. And I'm going to share just a little bit because I find it's all written for all of us searching for meaning. And it's written with the invitation, find your own meaning. And the quoted response to a master was this. This is from the book. A disciple once complained, you tell us stories, but you never reveal their meaning to us. Said the master, how would you like it if someone offered you fruit and chewed it up before giving it to you? So no one, he says, can find meaning for you, not even a master. So this approach to spirituality is a spirituality of imperfection, and it's thousands of years old. The Tao speaks of it in many of the scriptures, especially number 45. But it's also timeless in its eternality, and it's ongoing because it's concerned with the human being facing the essential nature of imperfection itself, our flaws of being human. All of this is part of being human and part of our truth. And I can't say it any better than this from the book. To deny our errors is to deny ourself, for to be human is to be imperfect. To be human is to ask unanswerable questions, but persist in asking them. Persist. to be broken and ache for wholeness, to hurt and try to find a way to heal through the hurt, to literally embody the paradox. We are not everything, but neither are we nothing. And our spirituality is discovered between these two extremes. So our challenge this week, or our journey, or our joy, is to find how we can accept that no one is perfect, that we can relax the state of our resistance that has been building, and feel connected, find the ways that we can feel connected. We all breathe the same air. So instead of separating us, we find that there's something common that we all share, and this is the wholehearted way of living. We embrace our self-worthiness and theirs, and we are the divine expressions in the world uniquely expressing. So I'm going to have Judy come up, and there was something else I was going to share in here, but I'm going to hold off on it because I think our plate is full. And I want you just to, before I go on into the prayer, into the treatment, to the affirmative knowing of your highest good, I want you to feel your own heart. Can you be self-aware in this moment alone and be in your body as the blessing of self-awareness graces you, trickles down through you, as it filters through the areas of your mind that have been constricted. And now that mind of yours is bringing in new ideas, new love, and you feel it trickle down into the heart space where that matters so deeply, your truth. And it's at this place that Reverend Michael Beckwith says, just hug yourself. Just hug yourself. See that in your mind's eye. Transcend any thought form about being unworthy. Transcend not being good enough. Transcend the wasted thought of feeling unsupported by the universal presence. Any thought form that would in any way not be in alignment with absolute truth, that you are cradled, enveloped, and loved by a presence that is never absent. Let your hearts feel that. Let the bucket of your heart open to receive as much of that as you can. Lean in closer to that space where no one can love you but you this much. Don't be a stranger to the self inside. Don't run away from this beautiful self, but choose now to open your arms and embrace your life. As Earnest Holmes would say here, hugging yourself, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful me. So this deep breathing, this paying attention to our sensations of our body as we breathe, awakens our resilience. So feel that deep breath moving through you. Feel the diaphragm engaging with the parasympathetic nervous system, the vagus nerve. Feel the inducing of a calm that's washing through your body. It is changing everything. It is transforming the inner realm. It is wabi-sabi. It is happening as your blood pressure in your heart and all of the risk factors for inflammatory diseases are calming down. Letting go of chronic stress, letting go, breathing. Breathing is what we have in common, and we breathe even deeper. We breathe for the self. We breathe for the world. And we allow ourselves in these moments of peace together, celebrating breath together, we awaken to a pleasure that we move towards freedom and we allow joy in. Think about all of those that are around you, strangers to you. Lean in as close to them as you can and let this love prevail, this unconditional love. Notice any signaling into your body. Notice how beautiful, how strong, how worthy you are of love. How beautiful, how strong, how worthy all others are of this unconditional love pouring through them. It is the healing. It is what is called upon in our society, in our world, in our air, on our earth, in our planet. We assert ourselves to know that we are each most worthy. We are each the beloved of this oneness. And loving now as we leave here today, remembering forevermore the gratitude we have for a body that is able to take this message in, for a mind and a heart that are open to the same truth in alignment, loving our body first, loving ourselves first, and giving thanks for a community that sees that wabi-sabi and allows us to simply let go and live wholeheartedly. I release this prayer in absolute gratitude, knowing that we will find our resources that support us along the way. We will. I change that right now in this moment. It's nothing in the future. It is now. We are now finding our way. We are now standing in our truth. We are now whole and healthy and imperfect. So thank you, God. I release these words. It's already so. Let us breathe again and know it is so. And it's so it is. Wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi. Feel that in your heart space. I love it. From the Japanese culture. Wabi-sabi. Dalton.
Somebody
So aren't we lucky to have these two? It's just wonderful. Thank you so much. So I'd like to invite the ushers forward. And in preparation for your offering, just envision holding that offering in your heart, allowing your love and your spirit and your whole being to pour through and into and around that offering, knowing that it's being given from a place of love to this center. And this offering is appreciated and taken with great love and heart, knowing full well that it is for the growth and the sustainability of this center, but also part of the law of giving and receiving. So what you give shall come back in return in many, many beautiful ways that may not be expected, but it is true. So giving thanks, I release these words as we start the offering, and together we say, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So just in knowing that I am so blessed and that we are so blessed, as we give thanks for the blessed donations received in the offering this morning and during the week, I know each dollar supports this center, the spiritual family in so many ways. So many ways, as we are the beacon and the light for this community. And as we grow in love, we grow in our spirituality, and we grow as a community. So giving thanks, I release these blessed words, and together we say, and so it is. And I wanted to say thanks to everybody who showed up today to get the service going. We got the sound team, we got the kitchen cookies, so remember after service to go visit the social hall and enjoy community, and talk to somebody you don't know. It's a lot of fun to do that. And then also for the musicians today and everybody in service. So we're going to have a final song, and then from Dalton and Judy, and then Reverend Sue will come up with some final words. And just a reminder, we have Dr. Mary's class in the boardroom, which is in the office, and that'll be around 11:15. And that's for if you're exploring membership or just exploring the community and what's it all about, take advantage of that class. It's a beautiful time to share and to know more about this place. So Dalton, you're on, and Judy, thank you.
Anyone who's comfortable, please stand on up. We're getting a little bit of a reprieve from the intensity of the heat. yourselves on out. There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. Hey, y'all know how it goes. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. Well, I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. Sing it now. Release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. Well, no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. One more. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for, what's that word again? God.
God is good. I know, wabi sabi. Pretty soon these messages will be down to 2 minutes. God is good all the time, and wabi sabi, and God bless you, go home. Thank you for the delightful duet. Yeah. We are so lucky. I wanted to let you know that Charlie and I are trying to go on a vacation. We leave for 2 Sundays in a row for sure. So nothing's wrong. We're just trying to go somewhere, but we don't know how to do that. We haven't done that since, And have fun. Yeah, we're going to go up to see a wedding up in Portland and see my son up there. And then we had all of these noble, I want to see it be in a cabin. I'm going to find a little beach place. Everything's booked. But we're still going to just do what we do and find our way. And I'll be back for a board meeting. I mean, it's just like, it's great. But I wanted to share this. This is something from the book that I did want to say. The spirituality of imperfection speaks to those who seek meaning in the absurd, peace within chaos, light within darkness, joy within suffering, without denying the reality and even the necessity of absurdity, chaos, darkness, and suffering. This is not a spirituality for the saints or gods, but for people who suffer from what the philosopher William James called torn to piecehood. He talks about, we have all known the experience, for to be human is to feel at times divided, fractured, and pulled in a dozen directions, and to yearn for serenity. For some, the healing of our torn to pieces hood. So that'll be at my end of my message talking about this, and you have Reverend Andy Torkelson and Reverend Kat Cox to enjoy for the rest of the month. So have a blessed day. Bookstore is open for you, and food waits you. Enjoy. Thank you. Thank you.